Hello and welcome to Sidequest. This is our weekly video game show here at Geekverse. I'm your host, Dilmus, and I have with me Jessica, back from the dead. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I am great. I'm feeling better after this little musical moment. I really want to know if you created this, though.
No, this is the great Amanda Colley. This is a professional composer who did the music for my game, who does the music for movies and video games and side quests somehow. So yeah,
Amazing.
I
love
it's
that.
professionally done. I'm not that talented. I wish I was. I've made a lot of songs in my day, but none of them are as even good as that 20-second stinger that we have for side quest here.
Shout out to Amanda.
Yeah, she's just the best. But you know who else is also the best? You, Jessica. I'm glad to have you back here. I think, was it earlier this year? I think it was this year that I had you on SideQuest. I think that sounds about right. And then we're gonna plan something over the summer, but you were moving and all your stuff was bundled up, and now you're all moved into your new place. I love your background, by the way.
Thank
for the
you.
YouTube audience here. How many Pokemon is that on the bed behind you, or is that a couch? Even that was one of my questions.
It's
too.
a pull-out bed, so this is
Okay.
actually my spare room / office now.
Right.
Yeah, we got Eevee, Flareon, Togepi. We also got like Harry Potter Squishmallows back there too.
Okay.
Yeah. If someone ever did come to try and spend the night at my house, this would unfortunately be the bed they had to share.
Yeah.
With all my stuffies. And then if you can kind of tell, I got Spider-Man wallpaper too.
I love that wallpaper.
Yeah, pretty stoked about it. So over on the side, the audience cannot see, but I've got my Lego shelf in here too. So
okay,
it's kind of my little nerd den that / office. I love it.
Do you game here as well, or is this strictly work and now podcasting?
This is strictly work and podcasting. Usually, because I have a laptop, I'll actually sit in bed and play.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe I'll like invest in an actual like setup here for everything. Debating.
If you're playing
like,
that with
monitors.
Yeah, that would be good. You have a double right now, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have the double. When you're gaming in bed, I guess you're probably mostly using a controller, but do you sometimes use a mouse?
No, never.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask how you logistically do that. I know you can get like a flat surface and use that, but to me it never works great. Like I feel like I truly need a desk if I want to use a mouse and keyboard setup.
Yeah, so exactly. I have a mouse, or not a mouse, like a lap desk that I used when I was in school and things like that.
Yeah.
But no, gaming, it's controller all the way.
Yeah, you got to for sure. Well, I'm glad to have you back on SideQuest. We're really focused on. I think every game we're talking about today is like a co-op multiplayer-y thing, which is not really like a planned theme for the episode, but more so me and you have been playing some games recently, so obviously those things get chucked into the topics. Then you brought up Minecraft as well that we'll talk about later, and I'm curious to have that conversation as well. So it should be a good time. Really just two quick shout-outs here. This weekend is, of course, the 24-hour stream. People check that out starting Saturday morning, going for 24 hours as per usual. Many games will be played on that. I'm very excited. We're doing some Gauntlet stuff. I tried to throw some new games in there, but it is a random thing in the hat. So we'll see if these games end up getting picked, but I'm hoping. I put Pikmin 2 in there, and I desperately want like Taylor and Kirkland to go at it for 2 hours in a Pikmin match. I want nothing more than that. I don't even know what the multiplayer is like in that, but I just chucked it in there anyway. So hoping we get some weird, fun games in there as well as per usual.
Are you coming up for that?
I am. I am, and it's going to be a very short trip because I'm getting in like Friday afternoon, and then I have to do a full work day, and then sleep, wake up, go to Travis's house, do 24-hour stream for, you guessed it, 24 hours, and then leave like 4 hours later. So I don't think I'll have time to do anything other than be on the content and then head home. Unfortunately, it'll be a very, very quick trip. Work is just too crazy right now. I couldn't book any time off, so I'm very much just kind of flying high, unfortunately.
And just to confirm before the second shout out, that 4 hours between stream and driving home is dedicated to sleeping, correct?
That's the goal. I'm actually taking the bus. If I was driving, I would have more flexibility in the times I chose, but I had very limited selections with the bus, and so I just kind of had to go with what they offered to me, and the options were not great. I'll tell you that.
You'd sleep on the bus. Yeah, you're fine.
They have like the non-ideal times of day to travel, those are like the cheap tickets. And then it's like, oh, if you want like the prime time, it's like $20 to $30 more. 2 trips, not worth it. That ain't happening. So yeah, I'm that's my plan for the weekend. So it's gonna be very hectic. But yeah, everyone check that out. It'll be a fun time as it always is. And then my other shout out is I've been making these weird YouTube videos, and I say that as if I've made a bunch of them. This is my third one that I've done, and it's been like months since my last one. But I made a video where I walked around a level in Hitman World of Assassination and critiqued the quality of like the gutters and downpipes on all the houses in the map. And I think it's a really fun video. It's if you're into that very specific niche thing of liking Hitman and I don't know, liking house infrastructure, then I think it's the perfect video for you. So I'll put that in the comment. But yeah, it's been fun making weird observational YouTube videos like that.
I just want to ask how you found that niche.
So I feel like I've always obviously as for a couple people may not know this, but for a couple years I worked in construction and I installed gutters and downpipes on houses, and that's why I know anything about gutters and downpipes. And since that job, I mean, I whenever I just see a house in general, my eye immediately goes to like the gutters and downpipes on these houses. That's just like I feel like for most people they don't notice that stuff at all, right? It like blends in, and that's like part of the construction is like they make the colors match the lines of the roof or whatever, and you don't want people to look at that stuff. It's not what you're supposed it's not the pretty part of the house. But since I was just ingrained, every time I drove up to a house I'd be looking at, oh, the job we're about to do. Now that's all I see when I look at houses, and that has transferred into video games. So when I'm walking around video game worlds, I'm always looking at the gutters and the downpipes, and most of the time they're really shoddy work, like it's obviously not proper because it doesn't actually have a purpose other than just like selling the fiction of the world as I described in the video. But in particular, this one map I picked for Hitman, all the downpipes you can climb to get into buildings and stuff, so there's like a bit more utility to them. So I think it made for a nice little kind of crossover moment. So anyway, it's a fun video. You should check it out too if you want, Jessica, but everyone else, I'll put it in the description. They can check that out. And yeah, that's that. I don't know what I have another idea. Tell me if this is an interesting video idea, Jessica. You know the game Days Gone, the zombie post-apocalyptic game. When I was playing that game a few months ago, I noticed that all the playgrounds in that game are just super weird and kind of super lame. Okay. And I want to do the same thing where instead of critiquing gutters, I critique the playgrounds of Days Gone. Is that something that sounds interesting to you? Would you watch that? As I know you're not like a big YouTube person, but would you watch that?
I feel like gutters is construction niche, and like playground maybe hits like parental niche. Like maybe as a parent I would be like, man, that is a playground that I would take my children to. I wonder what Dylan thinks of it.
Not in Days Gone. These are the lamest playgrounds you'll ever see in your life. They suck. But I think that would make it fun to like. And some of them are like it's a huge playground area, like the area that like the box that they put on the ground essentially is huge, and then it's just like the tiniest rinky-dink little like piece of art, a little playground, and then like one tiny swing, and it's like, why is this such a weird empty space? But I think I don't know, the weird observations like that I am into in games. And there's a YouTuber I follow, Any Austin, and he's like a huge YouTuber, and he does videos like this where he just looks at random little details in worlds, and people eat that shit up. So that's how I know there's an audience for this stuff. The gutters part with Hitman, I don't know, I might be going too far in the pocket, but at the end of the day, I just had fun editing and making this video for a couple weeks, and now it's out there for people to enjoy. So that's my goal at the very least.
If you do playgrounds, I just want to know, are you going to do like ratings for like size of playground within the area and like number of structures and like have an overall score for like best playground? Have you thought of what the look might be?
It's funny, when I was making the Hitman gutters thing, I was thinking about doing that, like a ranking system, but then I realized that they all suck and all these houses would not be up to code, and I was like, well, there's not really much variance here, like these all just fail, and so I kind of dropped that concept. And so I don't know, we'll have to see. And it's been like months since I've actually played Days Gone, but I did in a notepad write down all the locations of all the playgrounds that I could find in my hours playing that game. So I'll have to revisit that and kind of that's the thing, I still have to think about the angle of like what the video actually is, because it has to be more interesting than like just strictly looking at these things and being like, hey, isn't that weird? Because that's not really like a YouTube video. And thankfully in the gutter downpipe world, like I know I can describe in detail why these gutters suck, and like I think that makes it a bit more interesting because it sounds like I actually know what I'm talking about, or I don't know anything about playground architecture, but I mean anyone can relate to a good or a bad playground. And I'm also a grounders fiend. You know, I played that back in the day.
Ooh.
I say that as if I've played it recently. I haven't played in like 15 years. But that's also a thing when I'm walking around a video game world and I see a playground. I'm like, would that be a good grounders playground? And sometimes in like Spider-Man, the answer is yes. But in Days Gone, the answer is definitely no. And so maybe that's another angle that I could go with the video. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe like hide and seek too. I know the game Days Gone.
Ooh,
I haven't played it, but you could like look and be like, what game would this playground best be for?
I I'm writing the high. I like that hide and seek idea, like going around houses in video games and being like, now this is a good house for hide and seek.
Okay.
That sounds fun too. So let me write, cause any weird observations you have in games, let me know, because that's what I'm doing right now with this side YouTube channel that I'm working on. So anyway, that was my quick shout outs there. We'll do some more later in the episode. But let's talk about some of the games that we've been playing. So let me start out with this one. So Chained Together is a game that kind of was all the rage. It was one of those like kind of viral games of the week or month, whatever you want to call it. I think it was last year, 2024. And months ago, you and I started playing the game. For anyone who doesn't know, it's essentially like a masochistic co-op platformer where you start in literal hell and there's like an imp who's taunting you. And you and your buddies all have to just climb and climb and climb and climb and climb and climb and climb for hours. You know, difficult platforming sequences, janky jumps, spikes hitting you. And then the main premise is that you and your friends are all, as the title would suggest, chained together. So if someone falls off the platform, inevitably, like mostly, that will pull everyone else off the platforms too. Or you can do crazy things where you like both jump over a platform and try to get your chain to like stick on a platform, and then you kind of both lock on there. And then you can try and pull them up in a very janky way. But yes, it's a very goofy game. But me and you had a blast playing it. Probably took us like what, 4 or 5 hours? Would you say to beat it?
Yeah, I think it was about 4 hours it took us. So not too long, but I mean that was we had to take some breaks.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a lot to not get mad at.
Mm-hmm.
So also to just kind of the premise is you can either be chained like if you're with two people it's just a straight line, but you can have multiple people and play in like
Oh
squares as
gosh.
well, so
Yeah.
that way you actually are stuck completely intertwined as opposed to a straight line. um so luckily for us it was, except for one time we had random people join our game, it was just the two of us that were the straight line. So I can only imagine how much more aggravating that would have been with four people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we were shocked when that happened. Because at that point we had played for 3 hours, or maybe we were already halfway through the game, and then we were just playing one session, and then a guy dropped in. And I can't remember what his name is. I wish I wrote it down because I remember we were just we weren't making fun of him, but we were just heckling him a little bit. And at some time for a bit I thought he was a bot just because his movements were very unnatural. It's like that scene in Wreck-It Ralph where like they're doing like the video game NPC glitches and stuff, and it's like this is not a human being. And then it's like, okay, this guy's clearly trolling us, but it's like, I don't know, is the developer programming like a trolling bot to go into people's games and just like throw them off ledges if they're making too much progress or something? I don't, honestly, with that kind of game, maybe that's like a scripted event that you get these people to pop in like the 60% mark, and then they just troll by jumping off cliffs. But it seemed a bit too mean-spirited, and then we were able to just kick them and then progress. But yeah, that was, especially when, we had two people join and there was four of us all together. The platforms we noticed were like a bit bigger sometimes, so it almost makes some of the platforming easier, but then now you have to coordinate with other people, and these guys did not have a microphone. I mean, you did, thankfully, but it was hard to communicate with them.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think we got them kicked and then we kept playing and then one of them joined back in again. And then at that point I think we closed the game to just the two of us for the rest of it, but I think it would be hard to play with four people. It would be fun though. That hey, 24-hour stream?
Ooh. I don't think it has split screen, does it, that one?
You think you would all I think you could play four people on one screen, could you not?
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a Steam only game, I believe, right? And I feel like Steam, it's kind of rare for games on there to be split screen just because of like the nature of PCs. But that is an interest. I feel like there must be some game like that, because it's kind of like in the Gang Beasts or like Fall Guys kind of realm of things, of like janky platforming action. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of these kinds of games. For anyone who hasn't seen this game, to be clear, this is a very janky game. Like, the visuals, there's very little effort to make this feel like a believable world. But it does start in hell, and then you go up to like a construction zone, and then you end up in like Japanese gardens, and then you eventually end up in like heaven. Like, you really truly are ascending throughout it. But like the commitment to the themes is pretty loose. It's like, oh yeah, construction zone, aka there's like girders and like one forklift over there. Like, they're not putting a lot of effort into making this a super cohesive experience as you go through it. But I guess it is technically one seamless world. Like, you never go in like a loading screen, right? Like, it just keep
Yeah.
going the whole way up.
Yeah, well, and if you fall all the way back down to hell. Like if you
Yeah.
like miss a platform, it is one big connected world.
Mm-hmm.
I did just look. You can get it on PS5,
Oh, okay.
PlayStation Store, and you can do local up to 4 people.
Damn. Okay. I should write that down because that would be really good at like 4 a.m. I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
exactly the time I was thinking.
the wee hours. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Good note. I'm gonna check because I'm sure it's pretty cheap, right? It was like $5-10 when we bought it
Yeah.
on Steam. Um, that's a great suggestion. And well, I guess to be clear, you do fall, but you get checkpoints, and the checkpoints. How good would you say the checkpoints were? Like, I feel like maybe half the time it's kind of where you want it to be, but then sometimes it was like, I can't believe we have to do this sequence over and over again.
Yeah, there was a few really long ones. That one, I believe it was at like the top of the Japanese gardens. You have to jump on a bunch of different poles and then on like the spinning rings and then through a bridge on more obstacles. And that one I felt like was really long. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, I think we got enough checkpoints where I was like, okay, like I'm okay to do this part again.
Yeah.
Uh, or there was the one where we had those people join where you had to ride on the crane
Oh
and
my
you had to
gosh.
wait for the
Yeah.
crane every time. There was a couple pieces like that, but overall it wasn't bad. I do think it would be interesting to try and play it. There was the one mode we didn't try where the lava rises. So,
Right. Yeah.
so I think that would add another level of like forced speed that would be fun, but
Because yeah, there were some sequences like that where like platforms would fall away if you weren't quick enough, and so you almost got like a taste of what that mode would be like. But yeah, oh my god, I mean, because we looked it up afterwards. Wasn't the speed run like 50 minutes or something like that compared to our
yeah,
like 5 hours? So
yeah.
I feel like you could definitely rip through it if you were nailing all these jumps. But it's like one of those trial and error kind of games. You got to take these jumps over and over and over again. The only thing I really liked the driving sections. Like there's one where you're on like a chariot. I think we had like a car earlier on, but that was a few months ago now. I always liked driving in that game. Of course, it was also janky, but it was always like you're driving on like some minuscule staircase type thing, like a very lean path. But I always enjoyed that. Thought it was quite fun.
Well, I would try it. You would let me try first, and I would fail at least once, and then you would come and do it first try. And I don't know how you were so good at that driving because it was janky as heck.
Yeah. Would you say you're a good driver in real life?
Uh, Debatably, yes.
Debatably. Why debatably? Is there like evidence against it?
Uh, I've had like 2 tickets in my life. It's not
What,
not bad. I don't know what the average is.
speeding tickets?
They were speeding tickets.
Wow. Okay. I had one ticket that was. It's a red light. It was a red light ticket, but it was one of those automated like camera ones. And it's funny at the time I was like, oh yeah, this was fine. And then when they sent me screenshots, I was like, yeah, that was kind of sus. I shouldn't have done that. But there was no. It wasn't actually dangerous. It was just like I went a bit too late, But I definitely got dinged that time. But I don't think I've had actually like a speeding ticket.
Really? Yeah, I feel like I've driven with you. I feel like you were a calm driver. I'm
I
definitely I'm aggressive.
Yeah, I think I'm a good driver. I'm really bad at parking though. I was good at parking for years, and then I don't know. I think I hit like the age of 25, and then I just can't park anymore. So I don't know how that happened so early on in my life. But I cannot park straight in a parking space to save my life.
I
Um,
back into every parking stall. So does that give me bonus points?
Maybe I should start. Do you think that's easier to line up?
I like backing up. It's technically, we're going off track here, but technically backing up into a parking stall is considered safer than backing out.
Okay. I do because my car is a rear camera, so I feel like it's pretty safe for me to back up. I would say.
If yeah, I mean, if you
Because my
back up,
rear camera
you're
has
at
like
fault.
180-degree visibility. Like it's seeing everything.
I mean, that would be very helpful to back into a parking spot.
I should try it because once again I do have that rear camera thing, so it can help line me up and it has those fun little lines on there. So,
There you
um,
go.
but anyway, yeah, driving in somehow driving in chain together was not too much of a struggle for me. But yeah, fun game. Not yes, the lava mode would be fun, but I think I'd much rather prefer just like trying another one of these weird games with you, like just to jump into a new one because Peak is like kind of the hot one of this year that we've kind of circled maybe playing, and then the other one, which is kind of like this actually sounds perfect, the chain together ripoff. It's called Dangerous Mountain Together that we looked up before, and that's one where you're like two Jeeps that are chained together.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exactly what I want because it's more driving, but you still have the chain together concept. But now, Jessica, you would have to drive 100% of the time as well. So
I was gonna ask, how do you feel about? Would you want to play that with me after seeing my driving and Chain Together?
I think you would, because it's chained together. I mean, again, janky game, and like the driving is in it for what 5% of the overall game experience. I feel like they didn't put a lot of effort in making the driving super crispy. But if this game's all about driving, it's like you're driving on like crazy steep slopes, and your car is just barely hanging on. It looks really fun. So I think that's the next one we should check out when it's just the two of us jumping into one of these co-op games. But I feel like you play a lot of these co-op things. Where would you put Chained Together in your experience of these co-op games that you would play? Like, is it like a top tier one, mid tier, bottom tier?
Yeah, I'd call it mid tier. I had fun with it. It wasn't like we went quite a long period where we didn't play it though, and I wasn't like, I need to play this right now.
Yeah,
So
I
for
didn't
that
want to finish
sense.
it though. I was
Yeah,
compelled to say I beat it.
exactly. So yeah, so for that I'd say it is mid tier. Like when we're talking about like split fiction, I was like messaging my friend like, "Hey, do you have time to play tonight? Like let's work on this." This
Yeah.
one it was like, "Yeah, I want to finish it, but if we don't play for a month, then that's okay."
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely like I recommend it, especially for the price. It's a Steam game, so whatever we said it was, $5-10, I think it's worth it. I would
Mm-hmm.
recommend people check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, it was a fun time. And then the other one that we've checked out recently, which is
I want to ask you a question before we move on.
yes, of course, please.
So for the listeners, we every time we went on a balance beam, Dylan
Mm.
decided to go backwards, and I would just really love for you to explain to everyone the choice to walk
Oh,
backwards every single time.
are you ready for this, Jessica? You're about to get Uno reverse card. Why do you back into your parking spot spaces, huh?
I just told it's statistically safer.
That's why I do it too. It's safer to walk
Oh
backwards
my
on a.
You know what? Touche. Okay.
It's it's weird. I don't know what it is because yeah, as you're describing, so obviously it's a third person game. I don't know if we made that clear. So if I'm turning around, obviously I can't really see where I'm going as much, and like when you climb a ledge, you obviously climb like whatever ledge is in front of you. But I don't know how like because when I'm on a beam, I'm not one of those players that likes to like do a jerk quick movement, tilt my controller, jerk quick movement, tilt, and like move along the beam that way. I like to go at like a steady speed. And so whatever it was something about going backwards. Maybe it's because I could see less, so I was not as worried about how far I had to go. And then this way I could just tilt back on the stick and just slowly kind of moonwalk back with my old man that I was playing as. I don't know. It just felt right. It started as a meme, and then it was like, no, I actually kind of feel better doing this somehow. So I don't know. It's probably placebo, but it was an effective placebo.
There was one or two times that you did walk a little too far and had a little whoop moment.
That's true.
So
But thankfully, I was chained to you, and you could,
yeah,
pick me up.
I,
Yeah,
we worked well together. We made it
yeah,
happen.
we did, yeah, uh, yeah. I was thinking about that too. Like, I feel like in terms of did we want to finish it? Like, there isn't really anything better or more interesting in the end of the game. I feel like it's a pretty steady experience. Like the challenges you're getting early on, pretty consistent with what you're getting by the end of it. But yeah, it was still a fun time. And yeah, 4-player because we only did that for maybe 10 minutes. Like, and then we did 3-player for maybe a half an hour. We did a bit more 3-player with that random guy. But that would be a fun time. So maybe we'll check that out at some point. Yeah, and then the other game that we checked out was RV There Yet, and so I definitely want to play more of this one because we're not super deep into it yet. But this is another one of these kind of janky, uh, physics-y co-op friend games. And so far we've played this one 4-player. And Jessica, take it away. How would you describe what this game is?
Uh, Almost kind of like a, I don't know, like a fever dream. Like,
Yes. Okay.
what am I doing here? I'm just off-roading an RV that has no walls whatsoever. Uh, I'm drowning, but I can still hear everyone. It sounds very muffled. I'm getting attacked by snakes and bears. I'm running off by myself to go find scrap metal and coming back, and you guys are stuck in the mud. It's using winches to attach to
Yeah,
trees to like
love the winches. Yeah.
jank the RV up and down the hill. Yeah, great game, very
Yeah.
fun.
And then like you only have like 2 or 3 buttons, and one of them is to pull out a cigarette and just smoke for like no reason whatsoever. It serves no gameplay purpose as far. It doesn't scare
It
off
does.
the bear. What does it do? What does it do?
It does. When you're smoking, on the controller, you can push up on the D-pad to move faster.
Wait, what? It's a speed boost,
Yeah,
but not
and then
for your car.
and then drink, and then no, for your person, and then drinking beer
Okay.
is a strength boost.
Okay, I knew about that. I knew about the strength boost, but not that I also I knew it was a strength boost, but like, what can you pick up that you couldn't pick up otherwise?
There was a push button. The
And
push
why
button
would you need a
never
speed
worked.
boost button if you're driving in an RV for 90% of the game?
I mean, I was out adventuring. I was using the speed boost.
Okay, yeah, I guess you were going out there to get all the scrap and whatnot, but for me it was purely a vibes thing. I didn't realize I didn't realize the nicotine had an effect on my character's brain. But also we didn't plan this at all. We were playing with our friends Tate and Nate, which was fun that their names rhyme. None of us like planned this, but it just so happened that the role play we were using was that Tate is our dad, and we were like the crazy kids who just like can't behave. And so also that was a fun imagery of like this is a weird Griswold-esque family vacation where it's just a dad, 3 kids, and all the kids are just smoking, and the dad is like incentivizing all of us. He's like, you know what, kids, just take out a cig, like, just calm down a little bit. That just became part of like our squad. So I really like the weird vibes of this game. I wish this game, because Chained Together, I'm like perfectly happy with how janky it is. I wish this game was like a little bit less janky, because I actually think some of the mechanics are really cool, and like the winches and lining up your stuff. But I think it's slightly too janky. And I don't know if they're going to make it less janky. I know that's kind of the appeal of these sort of games. But I think it is a really cool, weird game, because I like physics games like this, and I'm just not used to playing a lot of them that are a co-op experience as well. And so it's kind of fun to kind of have to navigate these environments in your RV that's constantly falling apart. It's a cool game.
So there was one thing I noticed is because I do play on controller. When you are playing on controller, did you play controller? Or did you play?
I think I was mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, so you lose some of the buttons. Like I couldn't gear shift the RV on my controller properly, or if I could, I couldn't figure out how to do it. Because I know you're supposed to like hit Q to like bring up the gears and then something to shift them, but I couldn't do it on my controller.
Okay.
So I was only with the ability to drive in third, which is what Nate or Tate left it in.
Yeah.
So, because he's like yelling at me, he's like, shift down, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
So, I will just point out that was one thing that I wasn't super happy about, is that the kind of controller interface wasn't super great.
The other thing for me that was the jankiest of all was that you have like because this is one of those games like Peak that has proximity chat, which I think if we played again, I would just think we should just use Discord chat. Like I don't think the prox chat, like we're almost always with each other anyway, and you can hear like pretty far. But like the in-game button to mute or unmute your mic is really unclear which one is muted and which one isn't. Like most things when you're muted, it puts a little cross through your mic, but in this one it's just like your mic is either blue or it's white. And so I think this happened for you at one point where you're like, can you guys not hear me? And we're like, oh, we have not heard you for the last 20 minutes. And that happened for me as well. And I was flipping the setting, and I'm like, can these guys freaking hear me right now? Like, and the audio is obviously kind of muffled because it's like through the game rather than Discord. So once again, some of this jank adds to the experience of it, but when you don't know if you're muted or not, that's not the kind of experience I want to have in a game like this.
You guys were yelling at me to come do something. And I'm like telling you, I'm like, I'm coming, I'm coming. And it turns out I'm like muted, and you guys are all just getting mad at me. I'm trying to defend myself.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a cool game. Like there's a lot of what would you call it? Like resource gathering, like getting the scrap, but also at one point we got to, I think it was like it wasn't a garage, but it was like a little ranger's cabin or something. And there was all sorts of different little like winches and like ramps and things like that. It was really fun to load up onto the RV because all the storage for that is up on the roof. So Nate hopped up on the roof and I was just like chucking tires and like winches at him and trying to get the height just right. So I'd throw it to him. Most of the time I threw it right over him. And then, yeah, just like the storage space inside the vehicle, things constantly flying everywhere. You know, you bring like a beach ball or something, you can attach something to the wall. We had like a grill, but the grill was like flying around, batting against the rooms. So
If you
yeah,
don't
I
sit
like
in a
that.
seat, you like fly out the back window as soon as
Yeah,
the
you just
RV
jank
starts
through the
driving.
walls, which is such a weird thing. I feel like that they have to patch that because that can't be intentional. Because you can't lose the walls, and at that point, it's like, okay, well now it makes sense for me to fly right out the back of this thing. But if the walls are still there, I shouldn't be clipping through them.
Like I did you ever successfully push anything? Because there was one time we fell off a
Mm,
bridge and our RV was literally straight up and down.
yeah,
And like I was trying to push that thing and try and get it to fall. And I think we actually had to reset that time.
we did. Yeah, yeah, because there is like a little. I don't know what you'd call it, like almost like we're gonna speak about Minecraft later. It's almost like a piston. You can put that like in a spot, and then those like activate it, and we'll shoot this little ramp out. And at a couple times, it did slightly shift the RV, but never in a way that like got it out of its janky little mess. So yeah, I feel like I don't know if this is a game that had like a ton of love and care into it and like they're gonna fix these things, or if it's just like we're just putting it out there, we're gonna make a bunch of money. It's like one, you know, it's kind of like the viral game of the month on Steam, whatever, and then we're just gonna go and make the next one. I hope they put some love and care into it because I actually do want to play a lot more of this, and I think if it was a bit more refined it would be an even better experience. But I think for me one of the highlights was near the end of our session we could see that there was just like a garage right up the hill. So we're like, okay, that's a good place to end it. Let's just get up there. And so we just had to drive up like a really steep hill that had like a bunch of like mounds and like moguls, that kind of thing. And just like the amount of fandangling of like, okay, we can barely drive up here a little bit. We'll get the winch attached to that tree. Then we'll try and get this winch attached to the back one. Just moving the the RV backwards at some points, moving it up this the side away from where we need to go, just so we can like reposition a bit. And I don't know. I feel like that took like a half an hour for us to get the RV up like 50 meters worth of dirt, but it was experience for sure.
And then because you guys were trying to do that and I was out exploring and I found randomly within the game there's cassette tapes. So like
Yes, 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 yes.
yeah, Tate's like freaking out trying to get this RV up the hill and I'm like, I got music for you, Dad. And he's like fuck off.
Yeah, he had because I could never get another janky thing with the game. I could never get the cassette tapes to work properly. Thankfully, Dad could. He was able to do it. But he would always put in like this one that was like a radio / like motivational speaker type vibe, and he's like, "No, I gotta listen to my program." Like he just kept like whipping that line out. I feel like, and it was the music that we only had one other cassette that was like actual music, and it wasn't the best vibe. It wasn't really fitting the road trip, but somehow this like weird podcast that was in the game was. And so yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few more of those that we have to get along the way. There's also bears that attack you at some point. There's snakes as well. And so there's like bear spray which you can use, but also like there isn't really combat. Like again, I guess you just have to find the spray, hit them with the spray, and then they go away just to make it all rhyme there. But yeah, I'm curious to see what other kind of obstacles there are later in the game, other than just like really tight driving, small bridges, things like that.
And they can attack you through the RV. Just if you're playing and not aware, the RV is not safe. We had a snake.
No, the walls are really just a concept at best.
Yeah, I was sitting in my seat waiting for Dad to start driving, and all of a sudden I'm dead because a snake bit me through the bottom of the RV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's and then at one point I think it was Nate maybe who fell into the water and then just like clipped through the earth and could never come back. And at one point, my mouse wasn't working. So yeah, that was happening when we were getting attacked by snakes. So maybe we got just hit by some venom, but it was pretty wild. I think we had to reload the game, or at least he did, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because Tate was trying to drag him out and couldn't EpiPen him in the water or something.
Yeah.
Uh, but that one was really cheap too, wasn't it? That was like $5.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, for $5, even if I only played it for that like 2 hours that we played it,
Mm-hmm.
well worth it.
Yeah,
Very
I think so.
entertaining.
Very, very hilarious time. I like how easy it was to fall into the role play of it too. Like I was saying earlier, like I think that makes the games like this so much more fun when everyone's just like in it to be equally goofy and not care so much about like the end goal actually getting somewhere, but more just like the journey. So, yeah, that one once again called RV There Yet. So that's a fun time. Any other thoughts on that one?
I don't think so. That
Okay.
one definitely. Before we go, what are you tiering that? Is that like God tier, mid tier? What's your?
Ooh, I feel like I have not played a ton of these kinds of games that are like, because to me there's like a differentiation between like just co-op platformers I've played and like the games that are supposed to be kind of janky, and that's part of the appeal, like the chain togethers and RV. So I feel like I'm just kind of getting into this space, but I would say just because of all the technical issues, I'd probably put it mid tier. But the concept is so good that it like that's why it's not low tier. Like the concept is really really great. I think it just needs a bit of polish, which may or may not come. We'll see if that happens down the road.
I would agree with that. I like finding out that I've been talking to myself for 20 minutes definitely was not the
Yeah.
highlight, but it's a lot of fun. And I think, yeah, it would probably be a lower tier for me if I wasn't having such a good time with like the kids, we're going to drive, light your cigarettes. If it,
Yeah.
if the game itself is maybe a little lower, but if you get the right vibes, it's definitely a mid tier game.
Mm-hmm. And was that one a 4-player maximum, or could we have had more people in there? Do you know?
I thought it was 4-player maximum.
Because there's definitely like, I feel like in the RV itself, there's the driver's seat, passenger seat. I don't know if 4 people can sit at the table. There's a toilet you can sit on in the bathroom.
It's 4.
4-player, okay, yeah, because that could be even more chaotic. But if a group of 4 felt pretty balanced for the most part, because then no one's too bored because everyone has something to do at the very least. So, yeah, we'll report back on that one if we play more of it, which we probably will. So how about with that, we take our first ad break. I am going to quickly thank our beautiful Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad Mike, TGGLM69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Rendell, Cocktail Clay, John with no H, and Sam Green. Jessica, did you know that Jeremy Renner is one of our patrons?
Yeah, right there on the screen.
Of the Avengers. Same.
That's impressive.
The very same. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, how'd that happen?
It's a crazy story.
Has he been on After 9? Have we seen his face?
No, he's
Confirm.
shy. He's a
Oh
little
shit, yeah.
shy. Yeah.
He's busy, I'm sure.
Well, it's not like he's some big Hollywood star. He's got a little stage fright. It's different being thrown in there live with the patrons. Who knows what will happen? But yes, thank you to the Patreon producers who get, because of their support, get to choose a lot of the content we make. They get to listen to episodes early and ad free. So much. We're doing a ton of exclusive stuff these days. So definitely go check out all that fun stuff. That's the best place to go to support the show. So do that. And if you are not, you're going to have to listen to this quick ad break. So we will do that and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Jessica, Blood on the Clocktower is another, this is a very different vibe than RV There Yet or Chained Together. But yeah, we've been playing this for a few months, and I've wanted to bring it up on Sidequest, and I'm not really sure how, because it is kind of different than the traditional games we talk about on here. For anyone who doesn't know, Blood on the Clocktower is a social deduction game. It's kind of like, it's pretty much Mafia or Werewolf, but with more rules is the easiest way to put it if you don't know what that game is. Essentially, there's a good team and a bad team. Bad team's trying to hide and kill all the good people. The good people are trying to figure out the puzzle, figure out who the bad guys are, and take them out. And so it's kind of like that, but the difference from like a Mafia or an Avalon or something like that is that every single player in the game has a special... They are a specific character who has a power because of that. and there's, I don't know, just more rules essentially. So it's almost like I feel like you should probably play Mafia a few times first in your life, and then jump into Clocktower for like a bit more in-depth experience. Because I think a lot of the criticism people have for Mafia is that, you know, it's hard to get that many people together to play a game in the first place. Then when you do, some people just end up being like a loyal servant. They have no powers. They have no info the whole time. And like some people like that. I like that personally. I like having absolutely no information and just getting thrown into the mix. But it's also more fun when you have like a specific ability, and then there's like a lot of bluffing ability that comes with that as well. So yeah, there's a board game version of this, but we've been playing the online version. You can just play like online through web browser. You could use it, play it on your like phone. It's, you know, it doesn't require a whole lot of computing power. Yeah, so I don't really know what the kind of conversation is. I kind of want to shout this game out. I know that you've been really enjoying it as well. So what do you think it is about Clocktower that's really been calling to you?
I always love game night. So, like pre kids, I used to do regular game nights with a bunch of friends. So for me, this has a like that same feel, like you said, Mafia, Avalon, Werewolf, um, and I think this one is fun because you mentioned that everyone gets roles, but you didn't mention like there are still rules that make it so even if you have a role, you don't actually even know if your role is correct.
Right.
So for the listeners, as an example, like one role is like the washerwoman, and so like you might know out of two people that one is good and one is bad, but then there's a second role that is the drunk, and so you still don't know, even though you're told you're the washerwoman, am I drunk or am I actually getting
Mm-hmm.
good information? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the group and say, oh, one of these two people is bad, but it still might just be the fact that both of these people are good and I'm drunk. um, I think for me, like I've always been like I work in analytics. My thinking is very analytical. I love puzzles, and this is just a more complex version of that. Trying to be able to keep track of everything and um, have all these pieces together, and it's interesting because we continue to play with a lot of the same people. So, what's this up to? 10 or 12 people, and we kind of
Yeah, I think
average
you
with
can do
8 or
20
10.
people with
Wow.
you can do, I guess, I think there's 20 players on the script, and technically you can play with all 20, and that is the maximum. I think the most we had was the first time we played, which was like 14 people, I think, and then since then we're averaging like between maybe 7 and 10 or something like that.
Yeah, so something that's interesting is like there's so many different dynamics, and you start to learn these people, and then it becomes not only are you like bluffing based on your character, but you're bluffing based on the personality that people have started to like learn about you. um like the one person, I don't know if he wants to be named or not, but is like statistically the imp more times than anyone else. And so like he is fighting to not be the imp every single game, but it's gotten to the point where you can kind of tell to a certain degree like, oh, you're really quiet this time, like you're generally quieter when you're evil. So it just gets all these different layers that it's just so much fun to try and keep track of everything, piece it all together, remember all the roles. I don't I don't know. I
Yeah.
like I love this game.
Yeah, there's so much complexity in like very specific rule situations, and I feel like every session we've had so far, which is I think like 5 or 6 sessions overall, and then like maybe that's like 11, 12 games that we've played across those sessions, is like people are thinking of new ways to like use their abilities or new ways to bluff, or thinking of like, oh, new weird interactions that are happening. And then like even once we've mastered all that stuff, there's like other scripts and other characters we can get into if we want. So there's like so much more to it there. But yeah, I think what you mentioned there of like the idea of being drunk, I think is such a fun idea. One of the evil characters is the poisoner, who can pretty much just make someone's information bad for a day, or essentially make their ability not work properly, I guess. And that's what's a fun element to it as well. Is in Mafia, it's not really like fun necessarily to be the moderator. Someone does need to be the moderator and make the game go, but there isn't really a whole lot of like, I'll put it in like a pretentious way, there isn't really like an artistic side to that. Like you pretty much just like make sure the rules are happening correctly, do the kills when they need to happen, and then like put everyone back to sleep. But I feel like in Clocktower, why so far I haven't even actually played the game. I've only been the storyteller, who's like the equivalent of the moderator. But I'm down for that. Like I do want to play the game as well, of course. But it is fun to be the storyteller because picking which information players will get to make like because I kind of pick the characters that are going to go in the game, but not who's assigned to which one. So when that goes out, it's like a big random thrown out, and then I have to look and be like, ooh, okay, what would be like, once again use that washroom example, like what would make for an interesting game dynamic here to put in here, and then obviously when it comes to like poisoning or drunk, it's fun for me to be able to lie to people too and be like, oh, this is the information you should be getting, but I'm just going to tell you a straight up lie. And so I have to be on my bluffing game ability too, because I have to make sure you guys can't read me and tell if I'm lying to you or not. And so I'm thankful I've only fucked up twice. It's a lot of rules, and thankfully I've only messed up two things so far. So I'm okay with that. I want that number to be extremely low. I want it to be at 0, hopefully, but doing my best here. But yeah, it's a lot to keep track of, especially compared to like Mafia or whatever. Just everyone's abilities going off all the time, edge case scenarios, townsfolk versus outsiders. Like there's so many little things that are going on in this game.
Well, and there's even like the meta game in a way. Like one of the games we had, someone's mic had feedback the entire time. And so when the feedback would stop, we were like, "Oh, that person is talking to the storyteller. They're not in the chat anymore, right?" So then it became, why does she keep talking to him? Like, what is her role that she
Right.
needs information every single night? So there's even like the layers of outside the game about how that plays into it. And then kind of for people who are listening, it's not like a round table like Mafia where you can just talk to anyone at any time. You can only send text messages to the people beside you in like the circle of where you're sitting, or you can pull people for private video chats. But if you do that, everyone in the room can see that your pictures have like blacked out because you're no
Yeah.
longer there.
They don't
So
know what you're saying, but they know that you are chatting in some way.
And they can still see like your hand movements. Like one time I made the mistake of like going into a private chat and I was like doing this and then, like realized after I was like, oh, so it brings in a lot of strategy about like making sure you're not sending too many messages or pulling the wrong people for private chats for no reason. And
yeah, no, I'm really excited to play more of this game and just see more of it as well. And it's fun because like I'd seen quite a few games played on YouTube, and then to like start up our session with our friend group and just like for the game to have no meta game yet because you guys are all like brand new to it and no one had played it before, and to see it kind of developing and people trying out strategies, and sometimes it doesn't always work, but then some people like with Tate, coming back to Tate again, had one game where he just played like the most masterful evil game where he just threw someone totally under the bus saying that she was sending him like sus messages, and then he like faked what his role was, and it was like beautiful to watch unfold. And yeah, few people have had like really iconic games like that where they've just like really pulled the wool over the eyes of the group, and that's really fun to see. So yeah, it's just a cool freaking game.
I mean, we've had the other side too, where a good guy plays such a bad game that we think they're evil and messes up our votes and things like it's just it's so unpredictable, and then trying to recover from all that unpredictability, and at the end of the day, like you're trying to fix this unpredictability, but the person you're working with to fix it might be evil anyway. Like you just don't know.
Yeah. I think, and I was looking at like our stats too for our group because like out of our like 11 12 games, it was like the first like 4 or 5 were all evil wins. Like Town was not getting it right, and then Town won for like 4 or 5 in a row, and now it's back to like Evil's on like a 4 or 5 win streak or something like that. And so it's weird. Like I would expect that in an evening to be like, oh, Evil won this one, good won this one, but it feels like it's really swinging back and forth, this pendulum. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what that next evolution is because it's been a couple weeks since we've played. And yeah, I don't think we'll be able to play for another couple weeks. So it might be a while before we actually get another session going. But yeah, hopefully we can get like a bunch of people in there and just play with it some more. And I definitely want to get into the ring because I'm ready to just wreak havoc on this town, and in a good way and a bad way. If I'm good, obviously solve some clues, solve some puzzles and all that. But if I'm evil, I feel like there's a lot of fun ways to lie in this game because you're given a lot of tools as an evil person to lie without being too heavy-handed about it, but also sometimes it's good if you're evil and you're not like the main evil guy, if you're not the imp, to just make yourself even more sus just to distract from the actual guy you're trying to defend. So and then I think the other part about it that I really like that differentiates it from Mafia is when you die, you're still in the game. You can still talk to people. You get like one more vote that you can do, so you can wait till you're just really confident on who you think the actual demon bad guy is. But yeah, I think that makes it so like people aren't just discouraged when they get knocked out, and it makes that like everyone in the game, even if they're out of the game, is still like bluffing to some extent potentially. Like you maybe trust them a bit more when they're dead, but that can also be like a good tactic for the evil team as well. Is like, well, I'm dead, you can trust me. Like I got killed in the night or whatever, but it's not always that cut and dry. So I think that is a fun element to it as well.
Do you think that when you do get a chance to play, because you've been the storyteller so many times, that you have a better grasp on everyone's kind of like meta play? Like you feel like
Hmm.
you've learned people's tells?
I think for some people, I don't know if I really know yours, but I don't know if you've had a ton of because like the last couple sessions, I think you were like outsiders, and I feel like it's hard to really be too. I don't know. I feel like you didn't really have any tells in a big way, but I definitely have noticed, like Cooper, for example. I've noticed he does like a specific thing like multiple times over and over again, and it's funny when like you guys are calling out like certain people for being like particularly quiet or particularly talkative, and from my perspective, I'm like, I feel like this person's kind of always like this. And like, I obviously have the information of like, oh, this person isn't evil. And you guys just think they're evil because they're not talking a lot. But I'm like, I kind of feel like they always talk this exact same amount. So I don't know. And obviously when people go into private chats too, as the storyteller, I can like jump into their private chats and listen to what they're saying. So that is fun as well. And I can see kind of how people play the game in that way. But I don't know. I think the game, even though I have a good understanding of it, it's very different when every game we've played, I've known what everyone's role is and what their goal is. So I'm sure when I'm actually thrown into a match, it'll be like, oh my god, I'm like blindfolded right now. I don't know anything, and this is kind of overwhelming. And it'll be fun, but I think I'll probably feel less powerful than I think I'm gonna be. Like I probably have like a false sense of confidence. I think I have a pretty good handle of like the rules and things like that, and what each role does at this point, because you kind of have to if you're gonna be the moderator. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be a different experience when I'm actually thrown in the mix.
Yeah, that's fair. And I do think it'll be interesting to see, like, because the game does tell you what your like win rate is.
Yes, yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see if yours is different because you do come in with all this background knowledge and you have a good idea
Mm-hmm.
like of the roles and people's tells and things like that. So
Yeah,
my win
yeah.
rate is not great. So I'm sure it'll be better than mine.
Well, I think you're like around 50%, right?
No.
Oh,
No. I'm at 30%.
oh, okay. Well, but I mean, between 11 games, that's like what? That's almost 50%. It's a 30% that's close to 50%. I feel
Round
like
up. It
two
rounds up
games
to 50.
difference. Yeah, it does. If you round to your nearest 50. But yeah, I think it'll be fun to play because yeah, I think one of the things I've noticed with our group compared to like videos I've seen is just like the lack of private chats, and that's why I'm excited to get in there and maybe shake up the meta a bit by doing a lot more private chats and just trying to have these one-on-one conversations with people, because I think that could be, I think that is a big reason why good has such a bad win rate in, I worded that weirdly, but why good keeps losing in our sessions is I think people are just sharing everything they're sharing is in front of everyone, and so obviously that means the bad people are hearing that too and can use that to their advantage.
Do you think that, like, because I know you usually set it for like 2 minutes, give or take. Do you think that's part of it? Because 2 minutes, like, if you take 1 minute out of that 2 minutes to go into a private chat, like, you're missing half of the discussion time with the group.
Yeah, I try and make it a bit I try and adapt to what like I'm seeing in the room. Like usually I won't set a timer as soon as the day starts. I'll usually just let things go for a little bit. And sometimes the day starts and like people are just sitting there and no one's really saying anything. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to put a timer on here because I don't want to just sit around and no one says anything for 10 minutes. And so I'm trying to keep the pace moving, but I think I could probably be more lenient with the timers. I guess maybe I was hoping it'd be the opposite. If I put a timer on, people are like, oh, I got to get in this chat now because I don't have as much time. But yeah, I am also trying to make the games not go for too long. But that is definitely something I wanted to bring up with our group next time. Like when everyone's together, but before we've started, just ask how people think about the pace of it and see if they want more or less. Probably not less time, but if they want more time. If
Yeah, I think
I
it
also think the more time you give,
depends.
the more it just like really helps town. So my goal as a storyteller is for our group to have a 50% win rate, right? Like I want evil and good to win like the same amount of times. And so I'm trying to find like the right amount of time to where good can prevail and like have enough time to share their information, but evil has enough time to, not get found out every time.
That's fair. So, because I know for me, because we have so little chats that happen, and you know that evil has to have a discussion to like pass information if they're not sitting beside each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know we missed it last game where two people went into a chat, but like there's almost a risk if you go into a chat that you're said to be evil because you're
Yeah.
having those discussions.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think that is a good point, and I think that is one of the things that is maybe a pro for the group so far is that with the lack of private chats, it means that that information is not getting passed between the evil team as much because there isn't just like that social contract, so to speak, that like, oh yeah, private chats are totally fine. You can do that, and you're not just going to immediately killed in the next execution. So I think once that floodgate is open, and if the private chats do start happening more, then obviously that information is going to get passed between the evil team more, which could potentially help them out too. But I don't know. I think if you like really trust someone is good, just because of like the social reads, and then they have the like information that's leading to them, then I think that's like a good person that you would probably want to go in a little one-on-one session with and just kind of share everything you have and see what you can deduce from that. But like I said, I've not actually played the game, so I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I think it's hard. There's so many layers to it. Like I'm worried about going in private chats because I don't want to miss the discussions because private chats aren't happening.
Yeah.
But also it's seen as evil if you go in a private chat, so you want to be careful not
Mm-hmm.
to be seen as evil if other people aren't doing
Yeah.
it.
I will say for the timer thing, like if I see people using private chats, I usually do extend the day. And sometimes if the day starts slow, so I set a timer on, and then you guys are going crazy, I usually will extend the timer, and I don't always draw attention to it. And sometimes I'll change it. Like let's say it's like I don't know. Let's say it's like 2 minutes and 5 seconds are left in the day. I might change it to like just under 3 minutes. So the clock still says 2 minutes, but like you've actually been given like a whole bunch of extra time because
Yeah.
you should still be trying to speak quickly and get through things. But yeah, I also do try and adapt it and not be super strict with the timer. And if people are using that timer to like have interesting conversations, then hell yeah, I'll keep it going.
I mean, there's also again kind of that meta game of like, you know, I don't know these people. Like I know
Right.
them from the game, but it's like, oh, okay, Nate, who I've never met before, I'm not gonna pull you for a private chat because I don't know you, and you know, so I think like as a just a social anxiety type
That's
like
fair.
thing
Yeah.
for me, I'm also like, you know, I don't necessarily feel comfortable to just pull these people that I've just met or only played one game with.
Yeah. Yeah. That's totally fair. I mean, I'm definitely in a different position because I've been hosting this and know all these people for the most part. Some of them, well, actually, a couple people I haven't known. People have just invited them in, but you know, it's that's definitely part of it. So that's fair for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else there is to say about this. I'm excited someday to get into these other scripts, but honestly, they're so confusing. Like the amount of rules and craziness that can happen. I'm almost kind of like worried. I kind of like that this is Mafia, but with like a bit more complexity. And I just don't know how much interest I have in those other scripts, but maybe someday we'll get there. But I feel like we're right now having sessions kind of infrequently enough that I feel like we still have a lot to mine with this one starting script. The Trouble Brewing script is what it's called. So that'll be fun. And curious question for anyone listening to this, because I was thinking it could be fun for like an afternoon episode to do a game of Clocktower with the patrons. Get in all the Geek First squad, make sure Jessica's available because she's obviously the pro in here, and then bring in all the patrons and whoever wants. We'd probably need between the Geek First people, that's like 4 people, so we'd only need like 2 or 3 more patrons available on that night. But if people are interested in this, if anything we've talked about sounds fun and you want to try it out, it doesn't cost you anything. I just, as the host, I pay for a subscription. that I've currently canceled, and I'll resubscribe when we're going to play another session. I just know we can't do it for another few weeks. But yeah, let me know, people, if you're seeing this. Jump to the Discord or just put on Patreon or something. Let me know if you're interested in this, and I'll try and organize that for one of these times. Whether it's an after night or just a thing we do outside of that, I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, could be fun if people are into that kind of thing. So and we'll definitely have to get Jessica there because Jessica's a freaking pro. Travis has played a couple times as well. He hasn't played in a while. Kirkland and Taylor have not played yet, but definitely some other people like Connor, who's in the Geekverse realm to some extent. Saris, people that people have seen on streams, they've definitely played a little bit as well. So try and get a few of those familiar faces in there. Could be fun. So yeah, we'll do that at some point in the future. And
can you give me a sneak peek of these other scripts? Like, can you?
Sure.
Or like just like what's the difference between kind of like the scripts? Like just like what's the saying? Wet my whistle? I don't know. Is that what the old folks say?
I'll
The
wet
young
your
people.
Whistle. I'll wet your whistle. The main difference with the other scripts is there's 4 role types in the game by default, right? There's 2 good people. You can either be 2 types of good people. You're either a townsfolk or an outsider. Of course, a townsfolk is just a regular good guy. Outsider is a good guy, but their ability just kind of sucks for town. And then there's 2 types of evil people. There's the demon, who is like, that's the win condition for the good people, is to kill the demon specifically. And then there's minions, and the minions are just, they have like a support abilities, like the poisoner that I mentioned, the spy, things like that. They can help out the demon just kind of from afar. And the main change I would say with the other scripts is because in Trouble Brewing, the only demon is the imp. So it's kind of like an interchangeable term. But in the other scripts, there are different demons that can be in the game as well. So they have like pretty intense abilities. Like this one, for example, it's called the Vortox. And their ability is the Vortox makes all information false.
Oh. Okay.
So now that's the thing. Whenever you're playing them on the script, you have to be thinking, even from the get-go, okay, is this a Vortox game? Because that's the thing. It's not that information is poisoned and I will give you right or wrong information. Everything is false. So you're getting false information. So that's kind of like from the day one, it's like, okay, what's all the information I'm hearing? And is all that information connect in a way that makes sense for this to be a non-Vortox game or Vortox game? So that's like almost a sub-metagame, minigame you're playing within this one script, is just like, is the Vortox the demon? And if so, what does that mean for all the information we have here? And then you can also be like, once you find that out, if you can confirm it somehow, well, now okay, my information was false, but that still gives me information. It means that my information, whatever I was given, it's the opposite is true, essentially, more or less, depending on what your actual character is.
In that case, does the drunk get true information?
There is no drunk on that script.
Oh.
Every character is different. There's not a single character that is shared. Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's pretty intense. Yeah. Let's see. What are other demons, for example? One of them, I forget what it's called. I think it's called the Zomboul, actually, and you have to kill it twice. So it's like a demon that you have to kill them once, and then that's why the rule is in there that you can execute a dead body. Partially is because of that, but that is one of the things, is you'll have to kill the demon, and then you'll have to kill their dead body in order to like win the game.
Ooh,
so that's crazy.
Yeah, like voting to like kill a body that's already been killed type thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in that case, like, it wouldn't pass. Oh, well, I guess there's no Scarlet Woman in that script, so it wouldn't like pass in that way. So you just have to find out who you think the demon is, and then kill them twice. But then like the hint would be that like, well, that Zomboul is not killing people in the night anymore, right? But then there's other ways that people can die in the night, so it throws you off in that way too. Another one is the No Dashi, and that's just a demon who poisons the 2 people next to them. So that's an interesting one because obviously, like, if there's ever an empath next to a demon, that's obviously like bad news. But in this case, whoever is right next to this demon is getting bad information, but eventually they can maybe piece it together of like, oh, if I'm poisoned or my information's bad, does that mean it's because I'm next to the demon? And so that's kind of like a fun
interesting
way you can deduce things. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's if and we can also do custom scripts. So if we just want to like try like a couple new characters, we can throw them in. and it doesn't mean that the whole script is new. But yeah, if you switch over to one of these other scripts, it's 20 completely new characters, so it's a lot to learn. It's like another whole new learning curve, and then figuring out the interactions between them.
Ooh, I am excited for that.
Yeah.
I know we might be a ways away, but I don't know.
I mean, we can just do it. Like, there's no limitation of us trying it at the very least. So maybe next time we have a session, and then like usually people leave for the second game. Maybe there's 6 of us left. Like, you know what? Eff it. Let's just play this. This one is called Sects and Violets is what this script is called. And then there's another one called Bad Moon Rising. Bad Moon Rising is like a crazy one because I don't think people don't really get information, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't really make sense, but like there's just way less information out there that is consistent. Like, it's not like, oh, you check these 2 people and one of them is good. Like, you don't get any information like that. You just have to, it's a lot of like social reads from what I understand. It's more about reading people than it is like your ability telling you who's good or bad.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely down to try something different. Like, yeah, when it's either a smaller game or maybe, when it's one of the games where it's been a lot of the regular people, so it's not having to re-explain everything.
Yeah.
When we're getting new people, that's probably not the time to try it.
Yeah. Also, one of the other outsiders is called the Tinker, and the Tinker's ability is you might die at any time. So that's just like up to the storyteller. The storyteller can just kill you literally whenever, in the middle of an execution, in the night, literally at any point they can just kill you for whatever reason they choose. That tells the best story, I guess. So that one sounds fun as a storyteller. I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to those. I appreciate the little preview because that makes me way more excited.
I'll give you one more. One of the other demons is called the Poe, and the Poe essentially has like a charge ability where in one night they can choose not to kill someone, and then the next night they can kill 3 people.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
So, I think you might need like more people, but then also in the script there's like ways for people to come back to life. You can like resuscitate people. I think there's like I forget what the role is, but yeah, there's someone who can revive people, I think.
That's super fun.
Yeah. And then also on that script, one of the minions is the assassin who can just get a free kill in the night. So it's essentially like a one-time demon. And so that can like mess with information too. In that script, you're often trying to figure out, okay, how many people died in the night and which demon could have done that kind of thing? Because even if the Poe maybe didn't kill someone to charge, maybe the assassin kills someone that night, so someone still dies, and so you don't think it's the Poe necessarily. So there's a lot to it for sure. There's a lot of fun to be had, and I think they're working on a 4th script right now that they're releasing at some point. So there's going to be even more characters, and there's even outside of those scripts, there's other characters that they have that aren't like assigned to a script yet. So if you make a custom script, you can just like throw in another additional character if you want to have some extra fun. So yeah, we definitely have a lot to look forward to with this game. I feel like it's probably years worth of content if we really drag it out.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I can't wait to play more of it.
Yeah, definitely. We will make that happen. Yeah, once again, people, let me know, Discord, wherever, if you want to play this game, maybe we can do a Geek First session, because that would be super duper fun. Let's take our last ad break. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Last topic of the day is a little tiny game called Minecraft. Jessica, you've been playing Minecraft. I could not, because I saw you playing this on Discord, and I didn't know if it was like a son of yours on your account, and that's why it was showing Jessica's playing Minecraft right now. But it was you. You were playing Minecraft.
So to be fair, they definitely play more than me. Okay. But I do join in and play with them.
Okay.
So cool. Yeah, we'll have the 3 of us will all play together. So yeah, what are your thoughts? What are you wondering? What do you want to talk about with Minecraft?
Well, so when you guys play together, you have like a multiplayer server, the 3 of you?
Yeah, so yeah, we just basically, it's just like a LAN join. So whoever's hosting the world, and then you can jump in. So like it's been like Axon's playing on Xbox, Mordecai's playing on tablet, and then I'll play on the Switch. And then we all just join into one world.
Do the kids like creative mode, or is this a survival server?
Generally creative. If we're on survival, it's peaceful. So,
Oh, okay,
um,
no combat.
no, no. Axton is not.
Axton's a little guy. He's
Yeah,
maybe not ready for that
no,
yet.
no. He likes the idea of it. You know, mom, make mobs attack, and then I turn it on, and he dies and loses all his stuff, and doesn't go over well. So,
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, so, uh, okay, that's cool. So, what do you guys do in creative mode as a 3-man team? Are you building things together? Are you just building your own little things in silo? Like, what are you using the same server every time, or do you like every time you boot up, are you like, okay, let's load up a new world and just mess around for an hour?
it changes all of the time what we play on. Sometimes it's back to old worlds. Sometimes it's creating new worlds. Um, Lots of like Mordecai is really amazing. He creates like parkour courses.
Oh,
So
cool.
then,
That's
yeah,
fun.
then you turn it to like, his mode is creative and mine is survival and having to jump and do these um, like tests that he's created. Uh, Lots of, spawning wardens and iron golems and watching them fight.
Nice.
Uh, they have the new updates with like copper golems. So
Ooh.
I don't know. Are you playing Minecraft or have you played it recently?
I last time I played it was the classic 2020 COVID server era. So
Yeah,
it's
been
been
a
it's been a
hot
minute.
minute.
I don't know the copper golems, and maybe they were in there at that time, but I don't remember them.
Yeah, so there's been a couple of updates. Copper golems will actually like take items and sort them into chests for you.
Oh, that's
So
cool. I like
they're like
that.
helpful. They're like compared to iron golems, which are bigger than you, they're smaller. They're like half the size of the player.
Now I can't
Uh,
even copper. Is
d-
copper a new thing?
yeah, copper's probably new since you have played too. Yes.
Because it sounded like I'm like, oh yeah, there's like iron, there's diamond, there's copper, but I'm like, oh wait, I don't remember copper actually. I don't remember that in Minecraft.
Yeah, so I think copper's probably new since you've played. And then
How rare is it relative to iron and platinum or diamond and all that stuff?
it's less, probably similar to coal, I would
Oh,
think.
there's a lot of coal sometimes. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's out
So
there. Okay,
it's probably between coal and iron. Like I
okay,
find I have a lot of copper.
okay, gotcha.
And then what else is probably new? Like netherite. Netherite armor is now the strongest armor. Netherite is now stronger than
Oh, take a
diamond.
back seat, diamond. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
diamonds moved down. Uh, I think there's been a new announcement about spears are being added. I'm not sure if they have or
Ooh,
haven't
that's
been
great.
yet.
Big
So,
spear fan. So
are
I'm
you,
down
oh,
for
are
that.
you okay? You
I
coming
do
back
because
in?
not enough games have spears. That's a constant complaint I have in life in video games is that not enough games have this weapon type. I feel like in games where there is spears, there's like 3 spears and then there's 6,000 swords, and like the ratio is way off, and that's something I'll never forgive Oblivion and Skyrim from changing from Morrowind. I want my spears. Give me the spears.
Well, and I think if I remember correctly, there's going to be like jousting because you have horses and horse armor and things like that.
Okay,
You get
cool.
spears. I feel like that has potential.
You're gonna like you just joust with your friends, I guess.
Like I'm not 100. I'm don't quote me on it. Not 100% sure, but I mean, I'll joust you if you want to join my Minecraft server.
Whoa. Okay, that's pretty forward of you. I do want to see the server. I want to try your son's uh, parkour maps. I love that kind of stuff. I had a back in the day. Me and my friend used to download a lot of maybe not necessarily platforming maps, but we download like adventure maps and like puzzle maps and things like that. Just constantly from random internet forums, and we'd play that stuff endlessly. So I definitely like a good Minecraft custom creation.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else like might be new since then.
Do
Like,
you ever play the game on your own, or is it only a game you play with your sons?
uh, I used to a lot more. I haven't recently because I played enough with them that I don't necessarily feel the need or the want to play it later by
Yeah.
myself. Um, like, did you do have like ancient cities and wardens and things like that when you were playing?
The Warden did sound familiar when you mentioned that earlier. Ancient cities, because I remember there was like like Atlantis, like there was cities in the bottom of the ocean or something. I think that was like
Mhm.
an update
Yeah,
around
no,
the
this
time when I was
is
done.
this is like in the ground, and it's cut like it's dark. Like wardens like don't have eyes; they use sound to like find
Oh,
you.
freaky. Okay.
Yeah, so those are new for me since I had played last. And then the end has been extended as well, so it's not just the Ender Dragon. You
Hmm.
can find like end fortresses.
Okay. I
Are
never made it to the end. It was impossible for
what?
me to make it there. Yeah. Because you need so many goddamn
Blaze
ender eyes.
rods? Oh yeah.
You
Yeah,
just have to chuck the eye, chuck the eye, chuck the eye. I could never get enough eyes. I could never find one. So
yeah,
I've never
Enderman.
rolled
Yeah.
credits.
Wow. I
The eyes are
feel
so rare though. It's so hard to get that. Or I forget because whatever it takes to make the eye thing that you actually have to throw to like find the end.
the Ender Pearls.
Yeah, that one. I guess that one. I impossible. I don't know. I could never do it. Could never figure out how to do that.
So I actually never played creative until I had like my boys. Never. It was
Yeah, I was never much of a
strictly
creative man.
survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but I had gotten to credits before. So but now if like for them it just they go in creative and build a portal and go and kill the Ender Dragon, and well, it's like, oh well, it takes away the fun of it, but
Do you think they'll ever have that itch later when they're a bit older to want to try survival and will they be into that challenge or will they like, oh my god, it's just so tedious to do everything because normally I can just spawn it out of my ears.
uh, I think eventually they would want to. I mean, creative's really fun, but it doesn't have the same like yeah, like you said, like the satisfaction, the
Hmm.
oomph of getting there yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of the equivalent of like when your parents like, oh yeah, I had to walk like both ways uphill to school through the snow. That's kind of the equivalent for us with Minecraft. It's like, well, in my day, you had to go mine these ender eyes yourself if you wanted to make it to the end and beat the game. Even though creative's been in there for like 15 years at this point or something.
I didn't touch it though. I didn't touch it. Okay,
Yeah. Yes, I
so
see.
but yeah, it's honestly so much has been added since I used to play since the COVID era. It's it's really fun, especially like too. There's like the Minecraft movie came out, and so
Hmm.
you can get like packs to add like weapons, like the tot gun and the buck chuckets, like the bucket nunchucks.
Okay,
Um,
I've not seen the movie yet, so I don't know these references.
really,
But
okay, you're missing out.
am I?
Um, yeah, it's honestly, it's like it's what it's bad because it's janky. The jankiness of it is what makes it fun.
Oh, it's the chain together of Hollywood. Okay, I
Exact.
see.
It hey, it's been like confirmed for number two, so you got to watch the first one so you can watch the second one.
Okay, I just didn't know if that correlated to quality, if that correlated to box office. That's
At
kind of
box
more
office,
yeah.
100% is box
But
office.
you know me, I am a big Jack Black defender and fan. So
I mean,
I intended to see it at some point. I knew it wasn't not when I was going to skate out to the theater for necessarily, but I should watch it for at some point in my life probably. Have you played any like Minecraft stories or legends or God, they added another one last year. Minecraft. It was like the RTS one. What the hell was that game called? Minecraft. Maybe that was Legends. There was the dungeon crawling like Diablo style one. I feel like you'd be into that. And then there
so
was the RTS one, and then there was like the stories one.
uh, I've played the dungeon style one at an arcade, not
I think that's
at
just called
home.
Minecraft Dungeons, isn't it?
I think you
Is
might
it?
be right, actually.
Yeah, I think it is. And then the RTS one is called Legends. Okay, I think I've worked it out in my brain.
I think
You
you're
played it at
right.
an arcade?
Yeah.
I didn't know they
Uh,
had that at an arcade. That's cool.
yeah. Minecraft Entrance. That's right. Yeah, it was at the one that we have in town here. Went and played it, and it was fun. It spits out like cards, and then the cards are like power ups, and you can like tap them to like use the power up from the
Oh,
card that
I've
you
seen
get.
those kind of arcade games. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really fun, but I haven't obviously bought it or played it at home. I never did stories because that's similar to like Tales from the Borderland, like the stories, right? And
I think
it's
so.
not my
Yeah.
style of game. I don't like
Fair.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then I have no idea what Legends is or
Yeah. That's like yeah. It came out last year. It's like an RTS kind of thing. So you know
okay.
something. Something. It was cool. I played a little bit of it. It was all right. But so what do you when you're in creative mode and your kids aren't telling you to like do this or do that? What are you doing? What are you building in creative? Are you building cool houses or are you more just there to kind of facilitate their fun?
Uh, really depends on the time. Honestly, my favorite thing that I've been doing right now, which is like so mind numbing, is uh, seeing how big explosions are when I pile up as much TNT as possible.
Trying to crash Mordecai's
Yeah,
iPad, huh? Yeah.
100%. 100%.
You're like, my PC can handle this, but I know that little rinky-dink iPad can't handle it.
I mean, it's just, how big of a hole does it make? It's fun.
Uh,
I will build some things. Like I built an amethyst house the other day,
oh,
and
snap.
then, so it's got like all its purple windows and the purple beds, and we put a
What's the
little
best thing you've ever built in survival?
in survival.
What's like your
Oh,
crown? Do you have like a magnum opus? Do you have your masterpiece?
I do, and I wonder if I still have access to it. I basically just straight clear mind, like down into the ground. Oh my god, it must have been like 100 blocks by 100 blocks at least,
Fuck.
maybe
Okay.
more. Like it was so big that it didn't even matter how many torches I had down, mobs still spawned like when I walked from one side to the other. um I ended up like I had, I don't know, like one small chest full of diamonds just from clear mining this entire area. I went through so many pickaxes, and like my plan was to make a castle, and I wanted to like have this big dungeon in it, and I never ended up doing it. I clear mined the entire area, and then I was like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
A tale of many Minecraft projects for sure.
I used to just play Minecraft for hours, hours and hours.
Yeah.
So it's been fun getting back into it, and it is really cool to see all these updates and learn all these kind of new things. Like, do you know what the creaking is?
No, but it sounds terrifying. What's that?
Yeah, so there's a thing called a creaking, and if you hit it, it actually won't die, but it sends out like sparks to where its heart is, and its heart is in a tree. So
Oh,
you have to like kill the heart in the tree before you can kill the creaking. So like
hell yeah.
that's a new thing.
Is that like a swampy guy?
Yeah, he's kind of like a weird stick looking guy. And I forget, he's in a forest. I forget what it's called now. But that's new. So honestly, if you're looking for something to do, it's fun to go in and check out all the changes that are in there.
Yeah. It's games like that and like Elder Scrolls and stuff that I'm like anytime I'm playing any game, I'm like, yeah, I'd probably rather just be playing Minecraft or Elder Scrolls, but I should probably like play different things in my life. But yeah, it's like I could play Minecraft forever, and especially as you mentioned, like the amount of cool things you've just mentioned that now exist that didn't exist when I last played. It's the gift that keeps on giving in that way. So that's cool. I want to fight a creaking. Like I said, I've never rolled credits on the game, so I still have so much to do in it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm like a humble farmer. Build up my little town, build up my little house. Every once in a while, I do get the ambitions to build a castle, but it usually doesn't end up finishing. Never end up finishing that. But yeah, I just like building cool, fun things. I think I'm. Are you more of a miner or a builder, or are you kind of like hybrid when you're survival
Oh,
mode?
oh, I'm a miner. I
You're a
have my
miner.
bed, and I like break my bed down, and I take my bed with me into the cave, and
Okay,
then I
we'd be
put
a
my
good
bed.
mix then. So you can be down in the mines of Moria, and I'll be up above building like the castle and stuff. I feel like that would work well.
I yearn for the mines.
Yeah, exactly. But it sounds like that one time you dug too deep and too greedily, and then you ended up in just like this endless tunnel. But yeah, if I was there, I would have put a castle in that tunnel because I do like building a good Minecraft castle.
I feel like we could make a pretty cool world.
Yeah, we
Maybe
should
that
do it.
I was gonna say maybe that's the next game. Maybe we invest a couple hours in Minecraft.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, I do want to check out that janky driving game, but in lieu of that, maybe we can make a janky map in Minecraft. That's like a good feeling?
I feel like we could find some kind of maybe make like a GV logo, like harvest green wool. I don't know.
Green wool. Yeah, what do you? I guess you'd like take grass,
I
chop it
think
up. I
I
don't know.
don't know how to make green dye. Maybe sugar cane.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe a
Yeah.
type of flower. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quick side note on Minecraft, talking about like all the things you can build. I don't know if you ever saw it. Someone took command blocks and actually made a working Game Boy in Minecraft.
That's so cool.
So, and it played Pokemon Red, I think it was, but you could
Wow.
actually like stand in front of it and like push the A button or the B button, and it actually ran the game. And if you went into the background behind this front facing console, was just thousands of command blocks that programmed the entire Pokemon game into Minecraft.
That's insane. What I don't even think I know what a command block is actually.
So yeah, a command block is basically like a version of like coding where you like input a command that if this happened, the command block does this.
Okay. Yeah.
So like redstone circuits, was that a big thing when you played?
For sure. And I remember those YouTube videos of people making songs and stuff with redstone.
Yes.
So it's pretty much that with commands. Okay.
It
Gotcha.
and very amplified. I'll try and find the link to send it to you because it's absolutely amazing. Blows my mind.
Have you ever used those? Like, is there like simple uses for command blocks, or are they like pretty much only for like the sickos that are making experiments like that?
Um, Mordecai has tried to get me to help him with command blocks, and I don't quite understand the concept yet. So, um, I am not a master of command blocks, but they do exist in Bedrock. And he has tried to figure them out. I'm the limitation.
Hmm. Okay. That's crazy that exists. Because yeah, I always thought like redstone was already complex enough, and that I didn't think they'd ever go past that. But now you can just straight up make games within Minecraft, like with blocks. That's pretty cool. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's I don't know, great game. Like it's been out for years. It's top charts
Mm-hmm.
for number one
Yeah.
selling game for years.
Do you ever get nostalgic for what it used to be like? It was simpler.
Uh, Sometimes, but I mean, I can just play survival and not deal with redstone and not deal with
Mm-hmm.
creakings and you know,
Well, you might still have to bump into a creaking, right?
it's true. I would just go the other direction. I would run. Or I'd bust
Yeah.
out my bed that I just carry with me at all
Yeah.
times.
That's good, but then what if you accidentally die? Then you would not respawn in your bed because your bed's in your pocket, right?
We're not going to talk about that right now.
You've been playing too much creative. You haven't had to think about
Don't call me out on my stuff on stream, please. Wait till after
that.
stream.
that's that's too good. Yeah, I mean, show us Minecraft. Do you remember your first world that you ever booted up in Minecraft?
So the very first time I played Minecraft was at a friend's house, and it was 4-person split screen. And they're
Whoa.
like, "Oh, you should play this with us." And I was like, "This is stupid. I don't want to play." And I like was being super stubborn about it because I didn't want to play, and I like refused to get a pickaxe, and I just sat there and punched stone for however long we played, and super not enjoyable. And now that I look back, I'm like, why didn't I just like get a pickaxe and learn how to
Yeah,
play?
why were
But
you being so sour? Why were you so anti Minecraft?
I don't know, man.
Huh.
I can't
Was it
I
like
can't
a
give you a reason.
huh. Yeah. That's
Do you have
interesting.
a great first memory of Minecraft?
I don't know if it's a great first, but I do remember the very first I remember my first I don't know if I guess I don't know if I remember if this is the first structure I had, but I remember having like a bit of a castle structure, which mostly was like most of the inside of the house itself was like just dug in the inside of a mountain, and I kind of had like this ascending sort of staircase with different, chests. There wasn't a whole lot to put in a house at that point in the game's history, right? So it was just like a crafting bench and like crates essentially, and then around that outside I had like castle walls that I set up that had like a bit of a garden as much as you could. I don't even think there was like wheat in the game at that point in time. So it was pretty much just like trees that I had in this little like forested area inside these walls. So I can still, distinctly remember that first. That was the first map I ever had, and that file, that save file, long since deleted. I don't know what happened to it. I'm sad that it's gone, but I still can like distinctly remember and putting. I remember because I still early in the game, I didn't know what redstone did, but I would just all across the floor was like redstone all across because it was just cool and it kind of lit up sometimes, and I didn't know why it would light up, but it was like, ooh, this is kind of like a weird little decoration. I don't know what this is for. So I remember, having no idea what redstone actually did, but just that idea that it was just kind of this weird material that you could light up your floor with was kind of exciting for me at that point in time. So yeah, I have a pretty distinct memory of that first world. It was kind of like right on the edge. It was like almost like a little island with like a little canal river that kind of cut off this island from the mainland there. It was picturesque. It was beautiful. And that's when I think about that world, that's when I feel a bit nostalgic for what Minecraft used to be and how simple it was. And definitely I like all the things that they've added, and it's more fun. There's more things to discover and always something new to find. But yeah, back in those early days when it was very simple, I definitely get nostalgic for that era of Minecraft, which I'm sure you can just like download a mod that like
Oh,
just
100%.
keeps the game to only what it was back in those early alpha beta days, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, so there's my one son is obsessed with Minecraft, and he's found like these Minecraft songs on YouTube that we listen to, and in one of the videos, even like that, there's pigmen, so which I
Right.
think are like a mob that doesn't exist anymore, and
Oh,
so
okay.
he's like asked me about this mob that doesn't exist, and it's like, yeah, sorry, like we can't play with that anymore because it's been updated. Now they're piglins are the new
Oh,
thing. So it used to be
that was like the
pigmen.
Nether creature guys, right?
Yeah.
And they're not in there anymore, hey?
Yeah, it's been changed. They're not pigmen anymore. They're piglins.
And they look the same, or they have like a new
No,
anime?
they look different now.
Was that like a problematic term, pigmen? Why did they change it?
That was not at the time when I was down
Pigmen
in
got canceled, I guess, and then they had to bring piglins in there.
I
That's
wasn't
kind of
hip with the
crazy.
Minecraft lore at that time. I'm
I
just
wonder what
learning
other
about
things
it.
they've removed, because I feel like I don't have a whole lot of memories of things they've actually removed in the game. They've certainly changed mechanics of certain things, but I can't think of many other things that they've like, oh yeah, Lapis, you're out, buddy. See you later. Like I feel like they don't really do that usually.
Um Brick pyramids,
Brick
uh
pyramids. Never heard of
where
that.
baby mobs with adult sounds. That sounds
That sounds
creepy.
like a bug, if anything.
Certain types of potions.
Okay, sure.
S- Stone cutter. I don't know if that's.
I don't know what that is.
um, I don't really nothing.
Pigmen's the biggest one, maybe.
This person on Reddit says the ability to milk a squid. Uh,
Sicko.
I never tried that, so
Yeah, which subreddit is that on? Jesus.
void fog. That sounds
That
pretty
sounds
cool.
badass. Void fog. Yeah, so I guess
Yeah.
there's probably quite a few things over the years. But yeah, Pigman's the only one that I know of that's gone now, which, yeah, I'm sure this new mob works very much the same. But yeah, shows Minecraft ever changing. It's like they got the Disney Vault for some of these things. They put some of them away, but mostly they just keep adding things somehow.
Yeah, I love Minecraft.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those ones. You can come back to it after
Hmm.
years, pick it back up, and just keep going.
Yeah. No, we should definitely do that sometime. Go punch some trees together. That'll be a fun time. Any final thoughts here, Jessica?
No. I look forward to the next round of games and the next side quest to talk about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm glad to have you back on here now that you're settled in your new place and we've somewhat got your audio situation figured out. It sounded pretty good, so I don't know what we just sometimes you change things and things get worse. Sometimes you change nothing and things get better. I don't know what happened, but the audio I think is pretty dang good. So definitely have you back on more often now that you got your setup going all well. Thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you again next time. Bye bye.
Bye.